it's going to be more of a library if you're signed up. All right, so let's dive in. So the theme tonight, of course, is change and how we react to change. And it's not always easy. Don't we know that? We've all been through a few changes this year. So I want to tell you a brief story. Many of you know the author Elizabeth Gilbert. She wrote the book Eat, Pray, Love, which became a movie. And I listened to her talk not too long ago, and she tells the story of a woman she met. And this woman's name is Winifred, and she's 90 years old and the most engaged, vivid, vibrant people, one of the most engaged, vivid, vibrant people that Elizabeth Gilbert had ever met. And she says that um, Winifred was a bohemian artist who lived in the West Village of New York City. And she had friends of all ages, from their 20s to their 90s. And how many people do you know that have friends through the whole spectrum? And she was always out and about town, checking out everything and full of curiosity. And she told Elizabeth when she interviewed her that at 80 years old, she discovered her favorite subject, her favorite new subject matter to study, which was the history of ancient Mesopotamia. Go figure, just picking that up when you're 80. And that it had totally changed her life when she discovered this at 80. And Elizabeth was dazzled by that, to think that someone could take on a new subject of fascination when they were in their 80s. And she asked Winifred, what is the one lesson that you have learned in your life that you think is the most interesting thing ever that you've learned? And Winifred replied, and she replied to this answer when she was 94. She said, here's what I think. Human beings can adapt to anything. We are so quick to adjust to new realities. And she also said, if Martians landed on the Earth tomorrow, it would be off the front pages of the newspaper by next Tuesday. We just get used to stuff and then we move on. It's fascinating, isn't it, to see how the world has changed in the last year. The shock and the terror of what's happening with the pandemic has not left us, but there's been a swift adaptation of people doing things like standing 6 feet apart in major cities. Like, if you would have told us a year ago that we're going to be standing 6 feet apart, we would have thought you were crazy. But here we are following these protocols. We've adapted. And so two of the most striking features about humanity, and it's such a paradox, is this. There is no species on this planet that is more anxious than human beings about change. We hate it for the most part. We're terrified of it. We don't like uncertainty. And the other part of that paradox is, and yet there is no species on this planet that is more able to swiftly adapt to change than human beings. So on one hand, we're bad at it because we're so frightened of it. And on the other hand, we are really good at adapting and making that change. And we've done it over and over again in our lives, haven't we? So today's class is working with change and realizing how much change is happening in our bodies all the time, every single day. So let's close our eyes for a brief moment, drop in, and maybe just recognize how you feel differently now than you did at 6 a.m. this morning. All the physical and physiological changes that have taken place inside of you. Closing your eyes and just feeling the support beneath you. Feeling your seat and your legs and your feet. Feeling the ground hold you. It's always helpful at the beginning of our practice to come to a sense of where our physical body is. Maybe silently just saying, I am here. And from the support that you feel, find that space to open up through your upper body, allowing your torso to rise up and lengthen your neck. Relaxing your shoulders and softening the muscles around your forehead, through your face and into your jaw. I am here. Let these words settle into your body and mind, letting things slow down from your day. And start to bring some awareness to your breath. And as you breathe, start to notice the changing nature of your breath. Although each breath might feel the same, each breath is completely new oxygen, completely new air moving in and out. As you breathe and find some space in your body, see if you can feel that renewal, that constant flux of change in the air. Feeling your own rhythm, even the rhythm changes. Now joining the hands together, please, in front of the heart. Take a bow, honoring yourself for all of the changes that you've adapted to in your life, especially in this last year. And just offering a light smile on your face. Change can be difficult, and it helps to hold it in a space of kindness towards ourselves and all that we're going through. We ask that the practice be blessed as we explore and witness change within us and around us. And lifting your head, release your hands, open your eyes. All right, so we need belt. And if you have a belt or a towel, and those of you that just tuned in, welcome. We're talking about change tonight, and there was a lot of details at the beginning of class. So when you get the replay, you might just play that back if you have any questions about registration or the future. Just take a look at the first 5 minutes of the replay. Hi, Kendra. Hi, Brigitte. All right, we're going to start where are we going to start? On our backs with a belt. So after the warm up, I'm going to come back up here and check and make sure I'm still connected because it's been wonky lately. So please take your belt, or there might be someone on here that doesn't have a belt. I figured out like a dish towel. If you go from corner to corner, makes a really nice belt. So just know you could always grab one of those. And as I mentioned, we're going deep tonight into the little nuanced places that we often skip over. And these are places that are chronically tight. Some are larger muscles, some are smaller muscles. So we'll start by reclining on your back. Just put your belt across your abdomen here. Just let it relax, or your towel. And then bring both knees into your chest. Pause and feel your breath here, maybe rocking a little side to side. And just make note of how you're feeling at this moment, mentally, what's kicking around in your mind, physically. Maybe you woke up with some new ache or pain today. Emotionally, what dust might be on your heart, or what challenge or emotion. And spiritually. And then just note that that's all going to change in the next 75 minutes in some way. So place your left foot on the floor, extend your right leg up to the ceiling, flex and point your foot at a nice pace, just flex and point. And then bend the right knee over to a half happy baby. And you can either hold your ankle or reach up to your foot. And then let your body on purpose tilt to the right And maybe your right knee will touch the ground, maybe not. Just lean a little to the right. Good. Come back to center. Now pick up your belt, place it on the ball of the right foot, and then extend your right leg up. You're going to take the belt into your right hand and extend the left leg long. Keep both legs active, and then just start to take a really slow journey with your leg out to the right, keeping your core engaged. Start to wake up and tone through the abdomen here. I have my right elbow parked on the floor so I can utilize the right bicep. And then pause here, receive a conscious breath in, and witness it as it releases out. Noticing the sensations that show up in your body. And know that when we hold the pose a while and we breathe, those sensations start to change, don't they? One more breath here. And then lifting your leg on up. Hold it in your left hand now, and we're just going to go maybe like 6 to 8 inches across the midline of your body. 6 to 8 inches, and you might start to feel perhaps some sensation down the outside of your upper leg here into the hip. Keep flexing your right foot, just exploring a little more through this IT band, which we'll talk about a little bit tonight. I might geek out on you just a little bit with anatomy, but I think it's important for us to know our bodies and come back to center. All right, we're just going to release the belt, let it rest on your abdomen here again, and then do the second side. So your right leg's bent, left leg's up. Hold the left leg, flex and point, just pump like you're pumping the what do you call that thing? Foot feed in your car, the gas pedal. Some days I can't get the word. Back and forth. Good. Now bring the leg over, bend it up into half happy baby pose, holding either your ankle or your foot, and then just start to tilt, lean your body to the left. Maybe your knee touches, maybe it doesn't. Doesn't matter. Just see where you're at. Receive some breath, changing the oxygen, the energy in and out. And then coming back to center. Now place the belt on the ball of your left foot. I'm going to put the belt in your left hand. Just grab it together. Again, if you don't have a belt or a towel, you certainly can just hold the back of your leg here. And then slowly start to open to the left. Meanwhile, your abdomen has started to support you, right? It's engaged. And I have a wall in the way, so I'm going to move a little. Just let your leg open. And as we did on the first side, be really attentive to the sensations that you feel. Maybe this side feels different than the first side. Breathing into the sensations. Welcoming change. Learning to realize that change is inevitable. And it's more of our perception or perspective about change that really matters, because we really can't control the other changes. Take a nice deep breath in, lift the leg up. You're going to switch the belt to your right hand. And then remember, flex your foot and then just come about 6 to 8 inches across the midline of your body. Feeling what you feel, welcoming it. And then come back to center. Please release the belt, take it off to the side. Bring your knees back into your chest for a moment there. Give yourself a little rock. And then flex your feet and try to squeeze your heels down towards your bottom. So just squeeze your heels down. You should feel your hamstrings engage on the back of your legs. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. and then extend your legs on up. Good. Now just bring your right leg down, squeeze your right heel towards your bottom. Just draw it in like you're trying to give yourself a little tap with your heel. And then switch, squeeze the left one in. Squeeze it. Like you have something behind your knee and you're trying to squeeze it. And then release. Good. Roll to your right side. Come up to your seated position. And let's transition into a all fours position. So from here, I'd like you to take your right hand and lift it up towards the ceiling. So open in a nice twist. Then circle it over. And then once it gets right here by your ear, round your back. So you're doing like a one-arm cat. Yeah, one paw cat. Good. Release the right hand down. And open now, take the left arm to the ceiling in a nice little twist. And then circle the arm forward. Once you're here, draw your ribs in. Keep the left armpit lifted, looking straight down, just big old cat pose. Awesome, and release. Walk your hands forward, everyone, and let's lift the downward facing dog. Take some time to pedal out there. I'm gonna check and make sure that I'm still connected. Oh, goodness, I am. Yay, yippee skippy. So you're moving and grooving in down dog there. And just feeling the body and the process of change here. The body is not a fixed entity. It is us. It's not a structure. Rather, our body is a process. We're always in process, always changing from the inside. Lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Extend it long. Take 2 deep breaths. Lower the right leg down. Same with the left. Lift it up and then focus intentionally on the breath. 2 breaths. Left leg down. Step your right leg up between your hands, lower your back knee. Come upright, back your pelvis up, and then take your left arm and extend it up. Reach high, lean just a little lateral stretch. So you're just leaning like a crescent pose to your right. Back your pelvis up a little bit and tone your left buttock. So if you try to draw your back knee forward, you can also engage your left gluteal. Good. Start to circle your arm forward, round your back here, round like cat, and just pause here. Your arm is extended out and point your fingertips down towards the floor. So break at the wrist there, fingertips down, and you're rounding your back like cat pose. And then come on down, touch the floor. Let's step forward with your left leg. Hold in forward bend. Deep breath in. Slow, full breath out, completely out. Please step your right leg back knee down. And then once you come up, back your pelvis up a little bit. Tone your buttock. Try to draw the back knee forward. Right arm floats up. Ribs draw back, and then just a side tilt here. Ooh, notice the sensations here. Holy moly. And start to circle the arm forward. Really round your back now like cat. Hanging your arm straight out here. Drop your fingers down so you're just bending right at your wrist joint. Yeah, getting deep, deep into our psoas or hip flexor muscle. And into the back, you can feel that even into the arm. Release back down to the ground. Let's step on back to downward facing dog. Inhale forward to a plank pose. And on your exhale, please come down to the mat. Hands by your pelvis, chin on the ground. Tone your belly, tone your buttocks. And then lift your shoulders and chest and look down at the mat and float your legs up. Holding here. Keep the breath fluid. And lower on your exhale. Hands come back, push back, downward facing dog, please. Stepping your your right leg forward. Let's go back to right side, right leg forward. Lower the back knee down. And then this time we're going to make a change with your back leg. So just a little bit, swing your foot inward. So the back leg's turning in. And then from here, take your left arm up again. Left arm up, and you're going to lean over to your right here now. Yeah. Lean to your right, your back leg's turned in. You're accessing a little extra special muscle there, your TFL. I'll show you where that's at. It can get tight and gnarly and really affect the IT band that goes down the side of the leg. So we can release it, and it's beneficial to the IT band. Release and come back. It influences the IT band. So lift the back leg up, step back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, maybe bend your knees this time in down dog and invite a little more lumbar curve into your back. Whew, I've been sitting a lot at the computer lately. It feels really good just to bend the knees deep, make a big curve in the lumbar, draw the ribs up into the body, strong, stable arms. And now stepping your left leg forward? I'm going to know, yes, left leg forward. Sorry, I can't ask you now. No one can respond. Swing your back leg in. And then from here, we're going to take the right arm up and lean over to the left again. Lean way over. Keep the breath flowing through you. And release, come on out. Lift the back leg, let's step forward again. And then inhale, sweep the arms, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Let's pause for a moment here. Close your eyes and feel the changes that have occurred. Maybe your heart rate is quickened. Maybe your breath is deepened. Maybe you're feeling tingles or sensations through your body. Maybe your temperature has increased. Welcoming all changes. Release your hands. This next set you might want to block in front of you. So if your hammies are a little tighter, place a block out there. And then let's start with hands to heart. Inhale, extend up. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping the right leg back, lower the back knee down. And then come up, bring the hands to the heart and twist to your left. Get a nice twist here and just hold. Coming back to center, fingers to the floor or a block. You're going to lift the back leg and extend it. Straight on out. Draw up through your abdomen. And now bring your back knee towards your nose and round your back into cat pose. Knee to nose, round it out. And then extend the leg back long and lower it down. Awesome. So here you might want to have a block under your right hand. Those of you that have been with me a long time, you remember the big old butt stretch we used to call it. So you're going to turn your front foot to the left diagonal a little bit. And then if you have a block, use it. If not, no, you can still do it without. You're going to hop to the little toe side of your back foot. So you just pick it up and hop and be on the outer edge like a karate chop. Keep the back foot strong. And now from here, you can twist and look up. So that's one beneficial asana here. You could also explore slowly dripping your pelvis downward, like really slow. Yeah, the goodness is in the really slow release, but lengthen up through your spine. Or you can still keep the hips lifted. Maybe that feels better. Two different things. With the hip lifted, you get more of the top hip. And when you lower the pelvis, you get more through your QL, through this bottom region and down through the leg. Come back to center, square it up. And then from here, we're going to step on back to a downward facing dog. Drink in your breath. Send it back out. A grand exchange of prana, of life force. Stepping your right leg forward, everyone. Lower your back knee, hands to heart. You're going to draw your legs into the middle and then twist to your right, please. Just twist, bringing the right hand and pressing it into the left hand, side prayer. And releasing back down. Use your block if it's helpful. As you come forward, lift the back leg and hold here. Firming both legs, drawing up through the navel. And then knee to nose to knee, round it up. Extend the leg straight back and lower it down slowly to the floor. If you like the block variation, put it under your left hand. Turn the front foot to the right diagonal, just slightly out. And then one quick little hop as you turn the back foot in. Yeah, holding here. And if you twist, you might feel sensation somewhere in this leg. You'll feel it where you need it. I don't always like to tell you where you should be feeling it because your bodies, our bodies are all different, right? So who am I to tell you where you should feel it? You notice. So you can stay here. Another variation that's going to focus more on the bottom hip is if you slowly drop down. You don't have to touch the floor, just go in that general direction. Ooh, there's some specialness there. Special. Can't say that too loud. That's what my cat knows as food. When I say special, he comes running. Lift back up and then turn right back where we started. Let's all step forward. Forward bend. And take a few breaths here in your forward bend. I'm going to check in, make sure I'm still connected. Yep. Yay. Forward bend, deep breath. And then bring the hands onto your hips. Please lift your shoulders and rise up to standing. All right. So just so you can get more acquainted with your own body, you may already know this, but it's good to learn about these areas that sometimes get a little gnarlier. And I had a student write in this last week and she wanted some IT band stretches. And so I made sure I put some attention in. But what we talked about is that the IT band, which comes the outside of the leg here, it's not really a muscle. Can't really stretch it. It's a fibrous tissue. It's kind of like if you were to take a thick leather belt, you can't really stretch a leather belt, but you can influence it. Okay, so up here, I want you to find this on your own body. You have your front hip point right here, that bony part of your hip. And then if you were to draw a line from your knee straight up the side of your leg here, the very top of your thigh bone, your greater trochanter, just somewhere up here, there's a space between those two. Okay, that's a muscle called your TFL. You probably heard this before, tensor fascia latte. It sounds like a new coffee drink. And that gets really tight. So if we can open this up, it has a positive influence on releasing the pull on the IT band. So gives it a little slack, okay, even though it's not a muscle, but it gets really tight. It's a tight band. So I'm just telling you, we're going to places that are going to stretch this region, your psoas, your hip flexor, and then also right here, do you ever get this gnarly spot right on your back? That's your QL, your quadratus lumbarum. We're going to hit this like Bermuda Triangle, okay? I should have called this class Change Happens in the Bermuda Triangle. So what you're going to do now, if you have a wall nearby, that would be helpful, or just something to put your fingers on, okay? So see if you can find, scoot your mat a little bit if you need to, and then find a block. And about a ruler's distance, so 12 inches or so, place the block flat on the ground. Now, if you don't have a block, you can do this. No block, then put your foot behind you and you'll laterally bend in that direction with no block. If you have a block, stand with your left foot on it, left hand on the wall, and then swing your right leg. So give this whole right side permission to chill, like on purpose, let it be like a wet noodle and like a wet old piece of spaghetti. And then stop swinging it, take it around behind the other one, maybe all the way to the outside where you can click your toes against the side of the block facing the wall. Keep that and then take your right arm up. And as you lean over to touch your fingers to the wall, push your hips out away from the wall. So feel your hips moving way out away from the wall. Meanwhile, your foot down there, the one that's dangling, is pressing against the inside of the block. And you might even start to turn up a little bit. So bring your left ribs forward. Oh, I don't know about you, but the more I walk my fingers up the wall, that changes the sensation a bit. Yeah. And then come back up and release. Dun, dun, dun. Let's do the second side. So stand on your right foot. Again, if you don't have a wall, you'd be now crossing your left foot behind you and doing a lateral stretch. Okay. So stand on your right foot and then swing your left foot out. Teacher's getting hot now. Teacher's getting warm. So swing it on out. Shake it out, noodle it out. And then stop your swinging. Swing it behind, crisscross. Catch the toes on the inside of the block. Right hand on the wall. Left arm stretches up, 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 and then lean over to touch your fingers on the wall. Push your hips away from the wall. And then you can just feel your foot pressing against the block. It gives you some stabilization there. Maybe walk your fingers up an inch higher. Maybe turn your belly out a little bit more. Look up slightly even. Oh my. Every little change makes a little change, a little more sensation, doesn't it? And let's come out of that sucker. Come all the way up and step down. Fantastico. All right, if you all would, please take your belt. And if you have an extra long belt like I do, I'm just going to fold mine in half. So you just need it about that wide, about shoulder width. I'm going to come back to the floor. And let me see here. I think I'm going to, yeah. So if you would, come to this position, left leg forward, right leg back. Okay. So we need to promise me that you're going to turn on your right buttock here and keep it turned on. So you're going to press your knee down, snag it on the mat, and try to drag it forward, the old snag and drag, and then fill this tone up. Keep that. Now we're going to do 2 movements here. Once your arms get above your head, pull the belt apart. Slightly take your ribs back into your body. Now here are the two movements. First, you're gonna twist, so just turn to your left, twist, and now you're gonna tilt back slightly. So lean back at the same time you're pulling your top arm up. Pull the bottom arm down. So you're twisting and pulling as you tilt. Is your right glute still awake? Are you breathing? And come back to center. Lovely. And then just drop the belt for a moment. You may need a block. Bring a block up front. Let's take the back leg and bring it on up and reach around for the foot and bring it in. A little more quadricep. You could also lasso that foot with your belt. You know what I'm talking about. Use your belt there if you need to. And you can stay there. If you feel like you want to go a little deeper, you can come upright more, put your hand on your knee. Keep trying to snag and drag the back knee. Lengthen up through your heart. Feel the breath. And then let's release with grace there. Step back. Let's just bring your left leg back for a second. In between sides, come into a child's pose. I want you just to feel like one side might be vibrating a little bit while the other side is trembling with fear because it knows what's coming. Drop into your breath. Again, feel the changing quality in your breath. And please lift on up, and we'll switch sides now with the legs. Bring your right leg forward. Hold your belt. Back toes are curled under. I'm having difficulty with my belt here. I got into a knot. Back toes curled under. Press the back knee down, snag it, drag it, and tone your left buttock. Make sure it's working for you. And then take the arms on up in a wide V, pulling the belt apart. Ribs draw back a little, and then you just twist to your right, just turn, keep pulling the belt apart, and then lean back a little. Lean back, your right arm's pulling down, your left arm's pulling up, ribs are staying back. There's a whole lot of stuff going on here. Breathe. I don't know about you, but I love this. This is my new favorite. Come back to center and release. You could use a broomstick too. If you have a broomstick on that, that would feel good to pull back. All kinds of household cleaning items that we could use as props. So lift your back leg. Let's step forward, everyone, and bring the hands to the hips. Glide forward with your chest like cobra and make your way up to standing. Coming into a balanced posture here. Maybe we did this last week. I can't remember if I did it in this class. Dancing Shiva. Shiva. So Shiva represents steadiness, steady of consciousness. So we're going to turn the left foot out a little bit, bend the knee, excuse me, bend the knee. We're going to sweep the right leg across, flex the foot. Right arm comes above your head, left arm in front of your chest, and combine your thumb and index finger for Yana Mudra, Mudra of wisdom. And then you lean back a little bit maybe, or stay upright. Your standing leg is bent. And feel what you feel. Start over if you need to start over. You are dancing Shiva, so you might feel movement. That's good. You could lean back more maybe. Oh, try reclining dancing Shiva. And then come back up. Take a bow. Dun, da, da, and let's do the second side. Turn your right foot out. Little bend in the knee. Sweep the left leg across. Look like one of those Balinesian dancers. I was in Bali many years ago and I loved watching those dancers of all ages, the little girls all the way up, and they'd have these expressive eyes and fingers. So connect your index finger and thumb, and then keep your foot flexed out here, holding here. There's a lot happening here anatomically with the arms across the body, the balance, the strength, the focus. But it's shifting, right? It's not staying the same. And let's come out. Of course, you can bow on that side too. All right, shifting back now. I'm going to ask you to come to, oh yeah, we're going to do the standing. So a couple weeks ago, lying down, we did this awesome psoas stretch where we were laying down. We're going to do a variation of it standing. Come back near a wall, and you'll want to be able to have your fingertips touch the wall in a crescent just to hold you. So we're going to take the left leg, we're going to stand on the right leg this time, the outside leg. Sweep the left leg up behind you. Now you may need to lasso it with your belt. So give yourself a moment to do that. Draw the heel towards your bottom. Take your ribs back. Oh shoot, I need you to hop and turn the other direction. Can you do that? I gave you the wrong cue. Yes, that's right. Now take your left arm up and then slowly lean over and park it on the wall. It's going to help you with balance. So left arm, you're holding your left leg. You have your left arm above your head and you're leaning in towards the wall. Keep pointing your left knee downward as if it were going to touch the ground. And then start to open your belly and chest. Start to look up towards your top arm. Yeah, maybe even let your head go back a little bit, like a little back bend. Ooh, keep drawing your heel towards your bottom. And then come out. And let's switch sides. Sorry about the confusion there. I would love to see you all hopping or changing the other side. So let's stand on the left foot. Bring the right leg up behind you. Right arm comes up. Use your belt if you need to. And if this isn't working for you, you can go right to this one too, the regular frog pose. Always adapt. So take the right arm over, draw the heel towards your bottom, point the knee down, ribs pull back into the body, and then turning, turning, turning. Open. Look up perhaps, lean your head back. Going into a little more of a back bend is going to get deeper into your psoas. It's a really important muscle for our posture. It's also a muscle that holds and houses a lot of emotion. The psoas, when it pulls tight, like when we get fearful, we pull forward and it tightens. When we sit, it tightens. When we walk, it tightens. When we run, it tightens. It's a tight muscle. So we're giving it lots of love tonight. All right, come to the front of your mat if you would please, and just simply come into a forward fold. Deep, slow breath. And now we're going to step on back to a downward facing dog. Shift your shoulders forward like plank, to plank, but then bend your knees and let them dip down to the floor until they almost touch, but don't let them touch. Don't let them touch. Draw your navel up, push the floor away, come into a cat pose in your back. But the knees, you can see them, they're not touching. They're really close, but they're not touching. Feel what's happening through your core, turning it all on, all the layers. And then slowly lower your knees down and look forward, come into a cow pose, moo. And then come back to neutral spine. And let's transition onto your back and find your blocks if you have them. Okay. Now, this is new. This is new for me, so maybe you've done this before. It's definitely core, and it's going to be some engagement of your hamstrings. And so I kind of prepped you for it earlier when I was saying squeeze your heels in. So that's going to be the action, but now we put a block in there. So what you'll do, let me just show you, you can come along here. We're going to be on our back. And if you start with both legs like this, and then you just put the block under your heel and it rests right against your hamstring. So you're squeezing, you have to bear down with your foot to keep the block from falling out. So how about we all put the block in on the right side? And you can just feel right there, if you even palpate the back of your right thigh there, your hamstring is engaged. It is in action for you. Then bring your hands behind your head, lightly interlace the fingers, and lift your head and shoulders a little bit. Now, if your neck gets stiff, lay your head back down at any time. Extend your left leg up. We're going to move it like a bicycle action. While you keep your shoulders lifted and you keep squeezing the block, take your leg out, down, and then circle it in. You're just making a big old pedaling action with your left leg. There's a lot happening here. And then can you keep the leg out? This is a wild one. Can you rock? Can you rock back and come up and hold a little bit? Ooh, not touching your foot to the floor. And then can you rock it again? Come back up, hold. It's like a crazy boat. Down, come back up and hold. And then down to stay down and relax your head. Very good, you guys. I know you're loving that one. You're going to change now. Bring the block under your left heel. Squeeze it into your hamstring. Now, if you don't have a block, you just have to isometrically squeeze your heel in. Hands behind the head, lift the head and shoulders. And now from here, we're going to start to pedal. The leg comes down, circle it in and out. You can intensify this by trying to lift your shoulders a little higher. Ooh, keep squeezing the block. Keep a breathing. One more. Hold the legs straight. Now see if you can rock on up. Use your momentum. Oh, and back down, right back up. Down you go. Last one. And bring it on home and down. Oi. Take the block out. Feet to the ground. And now, my friends, we did this standing, but we're going to do the variation lying down. Remember, what's important is that you keep the knee press, the outside of the knee pressing, and your buttock engaged. So cross your right leg under. You're going to be laying on your back. I just came up to talk to you. We did this a few weeks ago, or maybe it was last week. I'll lose track. So cross the right leg under and you're holding your foot with your left hand, or maybe even your ankle, if you can creep up to your ankle. Before we go any further, imprint the outside of your right knee, press it down and feel your right gluteal firm. Okay, firm it up. Good. Now take your right arm up and over your head, lean over to the left. My head even moved over to the left a little. And just breathe right here, breathe. Keep pressing the outside of the right knee down, please. Engaging the right gluteal and stretch your arm up and over. Welcoming the changes. And come back to center. Take the right leg, the one that's on the floor, pick it up and cross it over the top of the left thigh. Something familiar, bring your legs towards your chest and eye of the needle. And once you have that, just rock subtly side to side. Those of you that entered class maybe just a little bit later after I had announcements, please let me know if you're at all interested in an in-person class so I can put your name on the list, since it will be smaller numbers, just send me an email. We'll probably start maybe mid to late March. And then release. Let's do the second side, everyone. How about that? Cross your left leg under, a good old deep psoas stretch. Reach down and hold your foot or your ankle, or use a belt. Press your knee down, engage your left gluteal. Then stretch your left arm up and crescent moon shape over to your right. Actively pressing the leg down if you can, even if it's not touching the ground. Just the action of trying to press it down is good. And get lost in your breath cycle here. And then make your way back to center. Lift the left leg up, cross the ankle over the top of the right thigh, and draw your legs on in. And release your hands behind your right leg and snuggle the legs in a little closer. And just rocking side to side. And this time, give yourself some kudos for all of the changes that you've navigated in the past year. Some of them were welcomed and some of them were quite painful, I know, for all of us. But thank goodness things do change, right? Can you imagine? Imagine having the same haircut that you had in ninth grade, the same job that you had when you were 16. Thank goodness things change. Come back to center and release. Place your feet on the ground. Open your legs out to butterfly. If you have a block tonight and you want a variation of this, you could put a block underneath your feet. Just elevate your feet a little bit, gives you a little sense of change and variety. I like to put my feet up on a block and then really tilt the pelvis down or find a deeper opening under the low back, a nice curve there. Try pressing the feet actively together, foot to foot, heel to heel. Feel your knees expanding out to opposite sides of the room while you press. And then let up on the pressing and let your legs relax, let your glutes relax. Start to slow down your breath. This evening, my plan for us is to take a very brief couple minutes in Shavasana, and then I want to extend or share a brief meditation on change with you all. You are welcome, of course, to stay in Shavasana if that's what your body needs more of tonight. If you'd rather stay there than sit up and meditate, that's totally groovy. Right now, just notice any changes that you might feel from an hour ago. Maybe the thing you were worried about has drifted away. Maybe the tension around your neck or low back has lessened. Right before class, I had a huge headache. I never get headaches, but now it's gone. Feel the breath, breathing in. And as you're ready, so start to bring the knees together. And as we started at the beginning of class, just hug the knees into your chest, holding onto your shins. And then let's add a twist here. Take your arms in a T position. Let your legs roll to the right side. Look up or turn your head to the left. And stay tuned in to the ebb and the flow of the breath, the filling up and the emptying out, to the change and exchange of oxygen, of life force. Lifting the legs up and over, please, to the second side. Then the legs go left and look up and over to your right. Slow, steady breath. And make your way back to center. Placing your feet on the ground, extend your legs out, and let's take a 3-minute power Shavasana. I'll keep an eye on the clock here. So just see how much can I let go in 3 minutes. I'd be so in the moment, so willing to just release and allow your best friend, your breath, to assist you in that. See if you can focus on a slower exhalation for this Shavasana, which is the timed, it's kind of like an ending of the physical part of the practice. And then the meditation will take us more into the subtle body. In this last minute, see if there's any more releasing that can happen. And then you make the choice. You can stay as you are. If that is what your body is needing this evening, just stay reclined on your back. If you want to sit upright and meditate, find a comfortable place. You could sit in a chair in your living room or your back against a wall, extend your legs out. Just find a comfortable seat if you choose to go there. I'll give you a couple minutes just to slowly transition and come to a seat if you choose. And then once you're upright, let your eyes close as we go into this navigating change meditation. So as we did at the beginning of class, just let the eyes close. Begin to come right into breath awareness. Once again, reflecting, witnessing the changing nature of your breath. Cycling in, cycling out. No two breaths are the same.
welcoming even this constant flux of change. Healing your own unique rhythm. And just offering a light smile behind your face, the corners of the mouth ever so slightly turn up. Just signifying this lightheartedness, just a gentle smile on your face. Notice how that may produce a little shift of energy in your body. Now we're going to start to move away from our breath and just note any sounds you might hear. And note that the sounds constantly change. Just noticing anything that's coming in right now. The sound of my voice, any other sounds in your environment. Really getting a grasp of the impermanent nature, the coming and the going of sound. Now we're going to move our awareness to our bodies. The sensations in our bodies are always changing. We're always moving, fidgeting, maybe scratching an itch. Bring attention to your body, realizing that it's in a constant process of changing. I mentioned earlier, it's not a fixed entity. It's not a structure. It's a process. It never stands still. We say our stomach recycles every 5 days and our skeleton recycles every 3 months. So sensing your body as a whole, noticing any little changes coming in. Now we're going to let that go. Together, let's take a mindful, smooth breath in and let it out. We're going to stay with the body for now, but starting to sense the water element that's in our bodies. This is where it gets interesting. Our bodies are 70, 80% water, depends who you get the information from. And water is an amazing symbol of adaptability, of flow. It can move around or over obstacles. It fills whatever container that it's in. And not only that, but water finds the lowest places and it brings nourishment there. So just like water, we can adapt and we can flow and we can bring nourishment to places, to people when others are low or when we ourselves are low. And we're moving through places that are challenging. So feel the water element in our body. Where's the 70% water in you? Feel that nature of flow in yourself. And allow allow each breath to create that freedom of flow in you. And I would like you to start scanning back over the past several weeks or months and just noting everything that has changed for you. Maybe that's your plans or your job or just your normal routine. Just noting what has changed. And seeing if there is anything that's been welcomed. And then especially noting those things that there's some resistance towards. What changes are you still feeling resistance towards? And go ahead and pick one of those things that you're feeling some resistance. And this could be the resistance to change, but it could also be the resistance to some difficult emotion that you've been grappling with. See if you can just feel it in your body without getting heady about it. See if you can note what that resistance is and just feel it in your body. It's almost there like a dam in the flowing river, and you can even imagine your body as the flow of the river. And there's some resistance, some block in it. And remember to hold this in your awareness with some kindness. It's okay that it's here. And while you're holding and being aware of it, you're going to try and repeat some words. Words have power to loosen the dam and allow that flow to increase. And so share these words silently. You can say them silently to yourself or out loud, whatever's comfortable for you. Just repeat after me. I have the tools to be with this, whatever this resistance is. I have the tools to be with it. I am so strong. By being with this, I am growing. I am capable of so much more than I think. Allow yourself here to feel both your strength and your ease. And imagine that flowing river inside of you now, starting to break down the dam, feeling the resistance starting to melt away, maybe visualizing that. Finding your strength with each breath and really embracing yourself for being able to flow with life's challenges. And together, let's all take a full breath in, a slow breath out. Change is the essence of life. We must be willing to surrender what we are for what we could become. The words of Brynel Newber. So in this forced change, in this sort of new chaos that we've all entered, We need more people that are bringing light, bringing nourishment to the low places. And this idea of bringing light to darkness reminds me of a prayer that is dear to me, and I know you know this. So this is what we'll end with. The prayer of St. Francis. I'm just going to offer a portion of it. It really embodies this concept, and to allow these words to absorb into your mind and heart. Make me an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. And hands slowly to the heart center and simply bow, honoring the impermanence of everything within us and around us. May we allow ourselves to be open to change. And when we're not open, may we be aware of the resistance and meet it with breath, with kindness. Thank you all so much for showing up this evening. Love and blessings to you all. Namaste. So while we move into this next phase of change, where it comes to your yoga class, please know that I am here on the other end to assist you in any questions. Don't hesitate. I'm still learning.